So you've seen The Invisible Man and you're thinking, wow, this was pretty fucking awful, but the action scenes were pretty awesome. Well, you should go check out the Leia Wanell, the director guy's other movie, Upgrade. And it doesn't have 2Ds for a double dose of anybody's pimp game. I don't think there are any pimps in the movie, but the movie is very concerned with this dichotomy between new technology and wealth and cybernetics and how that affects people who those things will be used upon in the name of surveillance and augmentation. And the film places itself in that arena to explore a really interesting story that initially, soon as the plot starts happening, which is about 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, you can guess what the big twist is. But it's written pretty well where when you get to the end, you're like, oh, now it's going to reveal the thing that I already know. There's like another twist that is really fast in terms of how it's shown to you. So it catches you off guard. And it wraps it all up pretty well at the end where I don't think you're left really feeling like it was any kind of like cop out or anything like that. It feels pretty good, and the film kind of turns into a horror movie in the last bit because it's pretty horrifying. And the best way to really sum up this film without actually talking about it is that Upgrade is a film that is essentially the prologue to a dystopian sci-fi novel. And now I'm going to get into spoilers to explain that. So, and I think I'm going to jump right into the twist. So there's this AI that was created by a genius science man, and he kind of lives secludedly, and he is the CEO or something of a major cybernetics company. And then we're shown that there's another cybernetics company too, and they're performing augments on veterans from wars. And then those veterans then kind of turn to a life of crime in some ways in service of, I think, the agencies that augmented them, but they're also trying to form a revolution of veterans or something. It's something that would be expounded upon in a theoretical novel that the story would is building towards, it feels like. But what happens with the main character? So we have main guy who is Tom Hardy lookalike. He's in The Invitation. That's a pretty good movie. Go check it out. And we have his wife. Their car gets hacked and they're driven to like some slums area, and the main character's like, oh, I grew up around here, which there's like a little bit of a kind of plot hole, or not really a plot hole, but like a character flaw with that. But it's beyond the scope of what I want to talk about. So the wife is killed and the man is paralyzed, kind of like RoboCop. We're gonna rebuild him better, but a pretty interesting story with that. So he gets the cybernetic implant that the genius science man built. He gets it implanted into his back, but it's so, you know, this is the kind of research or study or surgery that is not condoned. It seems to be illegal, and it's got to be their secret. So obviously, man gets up and he can move his arms and legs, and he wants revenge. So he goes out for revenge. And genius science man is like, if you keep going out there, I'm going to shut you down because you're going to bring attention from the cops who are searching for, your wife's killers onto me. And that's going to threaten everything. So, I got to shut you down. And then the AI thing finds some hacker person to, separate the connection or something. Some magic MacGuffin bullshit. Who gives a fuck? Whatever. So the AI is essentially loose after a bit of struggle. Then what happens is we really just have to fly to the end of the film. So you're at the end of the film and you're like, oh, what's going to happen is it's going to be revealed that Genius Science Man orchestrated this whole event to have a subject who has nothing to live for and nothing to really lose anymore, who would be willing to get this surgery done so that he could implant the AI thing in his neck. And earlier on, we saw that the main character was having like strange flashes of his wife. So we're at the end of the film. The main genius science man, you know, or the main character says that, oh, that was the plot. He says that he makes it like a accusation to Genius Science Man, and Genius Science Man is like, no, the AI has been controlling this whole thing for years, and he wanted a body. He orchestrated it, and then that's actually what happens is the AI puts the main character's brain in like a dream state where he thinks he's seen his wife, and then the AI just takes over and just kills the cop, kills the Genius Science Man, and he's gonna take over the world, presumably. It leaves a lot open to explore and discover, and that's why I think the film is perfect in a lot of ways. It's a really kind of tight reboot, like for RoboCop. It's like a RoboCop reboot, and it's the same kind of premise. Somebody's damaged, we rebuild him, and then you have all the political stuff and how that would happen and play out as the background to this awesome action film, because the action in this fucking movie is awesome. The steadicam usage, I hate steadicam. I think it looks like trash 90% of the time, but in this movie, oh man, fucking fully erect watching this movie. It's fucking great. So really there's not much more else to talk about. Action movies are pretty slim. You can get through them pretty easily in terms of like your intellectualizing of the film, but there's a lot to dig into if you want to think about the film afterwards. So great fucking movie. Check it out. Yep. Thank you. And I'm Borley Borlstein, and I'm just wasting time now. I mean, you're here if you're listening to this still. I'm here, so you can watch me drink this water. That was exciting. Yeah. How's it going? Oh, that's interesting. Thank you. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I guess now we just ended now. Okay. You can fill in whatever kind of responses that you'd like there, if it makes you feel less lonely. Is there something in my closet? What the fuck is that?